CBC News Radio.
Good morning and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest-running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question to the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocketradio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel.
And good morning to you. It's now 8 in the morning, and it's Friday morning, January 6th in the year 2023. It is time for Coffee Ann. Good morning to you. My name is Joe Callahan. With me is Dave Richards. Good morning to you, Dave.
Hi, Joe. Hi, everybody. Good morning. Lovely day.
And we will be joined a little later on by Mike Underwood from the Rhode Island Good Neighbor Energy Fund.
I understand the wagon train is winding its way through Slatersville at this point.
Yes, on our way
Pascoag.
here. And we'll also be joined from American Legion Post 85 right here in Woonsocket, Richard Lane. Will be joining us around 8:30 this morning.
He'll be taking a car.
And comments and questions can be called in at 766-1240. So, Dave, you've got the answers to most everything. So,
right. If I don't have the right answer, I have a zippy
here,
answer.
make one up for this. Okay, it's been 3 days. They keep voting down in Washington, and they keep coming up with the same vote. They keep coming up with the same number. We're doing the same thing over and over, thinking things are going to change, which is the definition of crazy.
Well, generally speaking, yeah.
So, how do we fix this? How do we change this deadlock down in Washington so they can vote in a Speaker of the House?
Eventually, people.
What's going to happen?
Eventually, people will die off, and
what,
the
years
whole
from
thing
now?
will resolve itself. Sure. Hey, listen. What's the best way to be safe in this country? Congress doesn't meet.
Well, they can't get anything done.
Your state legislature fails to convene.
Mm-hmm.
And at those points, on those days when you have no Congress meeting and you have no state legislatures legislating, making new laws with no regard to getting rid of old laws, on those days you are your safest in this country. To pursue, happiness the best way you can within the law. It's when they keep changing the laws that trying to pursue happiness within the law gets to be a tricky prospect.
All right. Well,
and so I'm saying, good. Enjoy the drama.
And some people are, I'm sure. But it just occurs to me.
For anybody who would like to not see Mr. Trump be elected president again, this is the best thing that can happen. Well, not the best. The best thing that could happen was the November elections where virtually everybody that he really supported and pumped
lost.
Right, lost. And now a guy that he wanted to be House Speaker and endorsed for House Speaker is not House Speaker after 11 votes. Mm-hmm. There could be no better solution for those who don't want to see Mr. Trump become president again than to see this meltdown of his supporters.
I don't know why they just don't get together and say, all right, Kevin, it's not working for you. We should really put up another Republican. The Democrats are sticking with their guy.
Earlier in the week,
want?
They were screaming at Donald Trump, please tell him, please tell him, please tell him. And all Donald would say was something that was so uncharacteristic of him.
Yeah.
But if you read between the lines, you could imagine what he was trying to get across when he failed to ask for him to stop trying, and he failed to support him. Now, if he were president back then, he would have simply got up in front of the cameras and said, hey, McCarthy, you're a loser. Get out, let somebody else do it that can do it.
Mm-hmm.
And but he's seeing what's going on. He's seeing his support base erode, and he's trying to be smarter about it. This is something that we were all hoping that he would have done while he was president. But now, when the chips is down, he seems to be getting the word. Don't back the loser.
Yeah. So, all right. We'll see if anything changes, if they will go with somebody else, and if not, they'll just keep voting the way they're voting, and those 20 that are holding out are still holding out and are not changing their vote, and that's just kind of the way it's going. So,
well, this is what happens when a country that has a generally free republic with representative government is going through a cycle where there's great division and great disagreement on major issues, philosophical differences, And so this is what happens, and it's healthy, and let's get it on.
Okay. So,
because my comfort means nothing. The country's important here.
Yep.
My comfort and what I want to see means nothing, Joe.
So if you enjoy this kind of stuff, feel free to tune into C-SPAN. We'll probably have wall-to-wall coverage of this kind of stuff.
Starting at noon today.
Starting at noon, that's right. I wonder why they...
And those who are listening to us now at 4:15 a.m. on Monday on the replay will be wondering, what the heck are they talking about? We
That already
resolved
happened.
this matter on Saturday.
Well, possibly. Yeah. Anyway, moving right along, the things are getting better for Damar Hamlin in Cincinnati.
That's good.
Saw that yesterday.
Again, things taking its natural course.
Yep, the doctors saw a dramatic improvement.
Yeah.
He's able to
I heard
communicate.
they canceled the game. They're not even going to make it up.
That's what the NFL has decided. Yeah, we're not even going to replay that game. So they're getting together on Friday, to decide how do we seed the teams without playing this game.
Right.
What's the fairest way to do it?
Right.
So
Okay.
we'll have to wait for that to come out.
It's not an easy situation.
No.
It wouldn't have been easy to play the game either.
Right. Now, there was talk of the Patriots-Bills games not even played this Sunday.
Yeah.
But I think with the good prognosis that they got from the doctors out in Cincinnati,
Right.
I think the Buffalo Patriots game goes on as scheduled Sunday at 1:00.
I hope he paid for the
Buffalo.
TV in his room so he can watch.
Well, he's slowly waking up, so I bet he has.
Or do you get the TVs for nothing now in the hospital?
Well,
because
I don't know.
It used to be an extra charge so much per day to have your TV working.
If you're in the ICU, it might all just be worked into the price.
No, I see. Okay.
I bet he'll get some way of seeing the game.
$1,500 a day, you ought to get cable,
but
right?
Yeah, but then again, if you're in Cincinnati, how do we get the Buffalo Patriots game in Cincinnati?
Yeah.
So that might be a little difficult.
No,
They
it isn't.
Quickly
Just ask
get
the
together.
NFL. Well, we've got the NFL Network.
Well,
You kidding
yeah,
us?
but
We
I
got
don't-
our own network that nobody wants to subscribe to.
I don't know if the hospital has the network, though.
Yeah.
That's the situation there. But it is good. He's not talking because he still has the breathing tube in, but he can write.
Yeah.
So they're very happy with his neurological functions,
Good.
which is great. And when he did wake up, first thing you want to know is, did we win the game? Which is also
I
a
was
great
wondering
question
that,
to ask.
and I was afraid to ask because I was thinking somebody might think I was insensitive.
No.
But I imagine the first thing that would be on his mind is, did we win?
Did we win? And it
because
was.
the guy's a competitor.
Mm-hmm. And their answer was, well, yes, you won at the game of life because you are still alive.
Oh, really?
Then they went on to tell him, the game was postponed because of,
And now
because
it's
of
canceled.
what
And
happened.
we'll never know. Yeah.
But that's what we wanted to know. He first woke up. Did we
me.
win the game? So, all right. You've been hearing us air some messages for you. Dave, on Monday, it's National Law Enforcement Appreciation Day. This comes around once a year.
I think like a lot of good observances, it's probably a good thing to do it every day. But singling out one day for an observance, I get it.
This was started by multiple organizations in 2015 to express their gratitude for officers in the United States in support of their services.
And it's never been needed more.
Citizens are encouraged to do their part in thanking the law enforcers on this day, which comes up on Monday. One of the main organizations is called COPS, Concerns of Police Survivors, and according to them, law enforcement officers need to be shown that the difficult career path that they've chosen is recognized by the people who they protect and uphold the law for. So there you go.
Well, these people, they got the crummy job of going out to where the bad guys are and trying to keep things safe as possible for us. I spoke one time with a police officer friend of mine. I says, do you sometimes feel like you're shoveling against the tide? He says, oh, yeah, it crosses your mind now and then you grab another shovel and you just keep right on going. He says, because if we didn't do it, think of what would happen if we weren't fighting against it.
It'd be worse.
Right.
Yeah. And even in the information that we got, the Wild West was true. It was wild back there in the 1800s when they didn't have centralized police or anything like that.
Right, yeah.
Law enforcement carried out in the form of posses and things like that. But it wasn't
Well,
until
it's the best
about
they
the
had
20th
back
century.
then. It was wrong, but it was the best they had.
Once the 20th century rolled around, large cities, counties, states, then they developed a centralized police or sheriff's department, And in doing so, the country slowly started to see a reduction in the Wild West and a more tame and domesticated America. So,
Unless, of course, you're in Bedford-Stuyvesant.
you're where?
Bedford-Stuyvesant.
Where's that?
It's a neighborhood in New York City that it isn't on the tourist maps.
There's nothing to see here?
There's things to see, but you don't want to see them.
Okay. So, National Law Enforcement Appreciation Day.
I used it only
Monday.
as an example. There's a neighborhood like that in all major metropolitan areas.
I see.
South Dallas isn't a bargain, if you know what I mean.
Front page of today's call, Dave. There's still a seat open on the Woonsocket Housing Authority's Board of Commissioners.
Gosh, yeah.
It remains unfilled while the city and the Housing Authority lawyers work out dueling appointments to the seat. So, as of Thursday, we have 2 people, right, that think they should fill the seat. We got Mike Dubois. He was appointed by former Mayor Dan Gendron in November. Or John Egan, who was appointed by Mayor Lisa Baldelli Hunt in October. And now they got to fight it out.
Except the
lawyers
paperwork didn't go through for John.
Okay.
And then there was a different
issue.
mayor temporarily.
Yep.
And that mayor selected someone else to fill that seat.
Okay.
And that paperwork did go through the city clerk's office and to the council.
Okay.
And so you got one that's a little more official than the other, but now you know it's going to be a fight because Mr. Dubois was not the choice of the person who's now mayor.
So it's a clerical error, is what it's basically coming down to?
No, it's a stuff happens deal, I think, is the best way to characterize it, to be as fair as possible to both sides. Stuff happens because the appointment's made on October 3rd. On the 6th, the mayor is removed from office. Mm-hmm. And so what had happened is that the momentum was gone for the October 3rd appointment to follow process. And so, and then another process with another name was begun during the interim, while Mr. Gendron was the mayor, and it was a different candidate, and that one went further down the process. Mm-hmm. But now the person who was removed as mayor is back, and they want their October 3rd choice in there, regardless of what had happened in the meantime.
Right.
And so there's going to be a battle.
Sure, and it comes down to the city against the Woonsocket Housing Authority lawyers, who will be duking it out, I guess. And can you see this going to Rhode Island Supreme Court, Dave? I actually can.
Can you?
Yeah, just keep
No.
keep going up the line here.
No.
No, it won't go that far.
Well, you said I can see it going to the state courts.
Yeah.
And I say, no, I can't see it. Maybe it's because I don't want to.
Maybe, yeah.
Because this is another one of those, you've got supporters of one, supporters of another, detractors, all mixed up, all trying to get their own way. And what do you know? It's back in the U.S. Congress again with 11 votes. It's just who are your friends and who are you not friends. And we want our side to win all the time.
See, that's why I see it can go into the courts. Because this side's not moving, this side's not moving. Okay, you, one person.
I didn't say you were
decide.
wrong, but you asked me if I could see it.
Okay, all right.
I can't argue with you on that point.
Yeah.
It could very well go to the courts. Mm-hmm. But I read Stella Lawrence's story in the Woonsocket Call today, mm-hmm. and I have to tell you that I have more questions in my mind after reading the story. But overall, being a guy who's been here all these years and who knows the players and knows the politics and knows who's friends with who, mm-hmm. and who wants to go to the party with someone else and who won't be invited because someone else doesn't like them. When you know all these things, and it happens in every community, absolutely every community. Unfortunately, here in Woonsocket, we put it in a storefront window for everybody to see. I wish that wouldn't happen, but that's the facts. It is part of the process. There are rules to resolve it, and it will be resolved.
All right, we're going to take a break here on Coffee and we forgot to do the sponsorship. We'll do that in the next segment, Dave.
334-1000, Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce.
All right.
Call them at 9 o'clock this morning and ask them how the chamber could work for you.
Very good. And more Coffee and coming up. Stay tuned.
What does it mean to be owned by your customers? It means we don't answer to a headquarters in New York or a board of directors in Switzerland. It means we answer to a teacher in Woonsocket, a small business owner in Greenville, a contractor in Warwick. Our customers are our owners. Our owners are our customers. Come join us. Navigate Credit Union.
The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee in Pawtucket. They're a 62-year-old family business that roasts all its coffee right here in Rhode Island. Founded originally as Excellent Coffee Company, they provide great coffee to food service establishments throughout New England.
We are local and live at 99.5.
It is Coffee and here on ON Radio. We thank you for joining us on this Friday morning. It's January 6th. This is Joe Callahan along with Dave Richards, and we're being joined at the coffee
doing
table.
anything else important.
No, you weren't. By Mike Underwood. He is with the Rhode Island Good Neighbor Energy Fund.
The wagon train has arrived from Pasco.
Thanks for joining us, Mike.
You're welcome. Kirkwood, last name, but that's...
How did I get Mike
that's
Underwood?
yeah, Mike Kirkwood.
It's Kirkland. You said... Never mind, Dave.
No.
Yes.
No, I just failed to disagree with you.
That's right. Anyway,
How
sorry,
are you
Mike.
fine gentlemen doing?
I think we're doing well. So this must be, we've had you on in past
we don't
years,
know who
Mike.
we're talking to, but we're doing okay.
We're doing fine. We've had you on in past years to talk about this, but this year
Yeah.
is got to be even more important than in past years ever.
You just look at the energy prices right now, Joe.
Yeah.
There's been an incredible run up, and so, we recognize that on the Good Neighbor Energy Fund and trying to get money out as quickly as possible to people that are in need of
you guys-
heating their homes.
Yeah.
You guys are going to save a lot of lives this year.
Yeah,
I
that's
predict.
right.
You got
Seriously.
even more families coming out to you guys looking for help.
There's a big need out there. We even increased the amount that a couple of the fuel types can get as a reimbursement this year, recognizing the run-up in fuel costs.
Mm-hmm.
So that run-up in fuel costs really is impacting people in so many ways, whether it's electric costs or if you heat your house with oil, propane, natural gas, whatever it is. Everything is increasing.
Sure.
So we recognize that the people are in need, and we're just trying to get the money out the best that we can.
So
Now,
tell us, Mike, right off the bat,
we
in
should
case anyone
explain
hasn't
to
heard-
everybody that he's
Yes.
from Pasco,
Yeah.
but this is a voluntary chairmanship that he has in trying to get the word out over here.
Yeah.
The fact that he's in Pasco and we're in Woonsocket means nothing. This is a statewide effort, right?
That's right. It covers the
I want to
whole
make sure
state.
people got the right frame in their mind there when you were talking.
Yeah, and that's a great point, Dave, because Good Neighbor Energy Fund in Rhode Island here, this organization really gets a lot of donations in from Rhode Island citizens and businesses, but gets the money out specifically to Rhode Island people in need.
So just to explain briefly then, Mike, what is, if people haven't heard, what is the Good Neighbor Energy Fund?
It's interesting, Joe. I mean, this thing was started 37 years ago now. So 1986, the energy companies at the time got together and recognized that, there was a problem. Costs were high then. People were in need, and they recognized that there was a certain class of citizens that weren't covered by a lot of the other federal or state programs, specifically to get some money to heat their homes. And those are people that might find themselves in a bad situation for the first time.
Would you
they
consider
might-
that they're like the working poor?
Yeah,
People who are
yeah.
working,
Yep.
go to work every day, might have 2 paychecks coming in, but just ain't making it.
Or it could be people that were working last year and are not this year. They might have lost a job.
Sure.
This pandemic that we just had was a great example. All of a sudden, people were losing jobs left and right because everything shut down so dramatically. Or you might have a family member that's sick, and so you could have made decent money last year and not making money this year because of the qualification process. That the federal and state government uses. A lot of these folks look like they're making too much money. So that's, and they're not making it anymore. They had a good job last year, they might not have it this year. And so this program is really intended to hit those folks that don't have a safety net like some other folks, have had in the past.
How can families, how are they eligible to receive money from this Good Neighbor Energy Fund?
Yeah, good question, Joe. So the first thing you might want to do if you need, if you're looking for assistance, call United Way, and they're our actual partner in this whole Good
Isn't
Neighbor
that
Energy Fund
211
thing.
for United Way?
211 for United Way
Okay.
is their help desk line. and you tell them what you're looking for. You'd like to find out if you're eligible for Good Neighbor Energy Fund. What they'll do is ask you some basic information. Where you're located in Rhode Island. Give them your address. What they'll do is link you up with the local community action program agency. We call them CAPS for short. And there's various ones, 8 or 9 throughout the state. So they'll, by your address, tell you which one is the one you want to go to. They'll give you the contact information. You go in there, and there's a whole sort of a qualification process. They'll look at your situation, your income, what's happened to you in the last year. And if you qualify, and the qualifications are pretty generous.
But you got to ask and find out.
You got to ask and find out. So start with
Don't worry
211.
about a no.
Yeah.
Ask for a yes.
Ask for a yes, because it could get you the heat that you need in your house.
Sure.
So to date, I'm just taking a look at some information that you sent over. To date, since 1986, you've assisted approximately almost 48,000 families.
Yeah, that's right, Joe. And if you think about it, a family could be 2, 3, 4 members, oftentimes. So there's hundreds of thousands of folks here over this, this past 37 years that have benefited from the program. $16 million raised. And it's, even though the energy companies contribute, the vast majority of the funds come from good people all around Rhode Island, good businesses all around Rhode Island. So we really appreciate that.
So if you're a private citizen, like most people listening at the moment, how do they make a donation to the fund if they'd like to?
So there's all kinds of ways to do it. It's interesting. The technology is pretty good these days. There's the old way, which is still very acceptable.
It's the yellow
find
envelope in
this year white. We actually
white.
had our
This year
own
was-
supply chain issues. We couldn't get yellow stock.
You're not immune to it,
So
okay.
the envelopes are white this year, but look for it. They'll come in your utility or oil bill often, and it'll be a white envelope with the tagline on it, Warm Thy Neighbor. Warm Thy Neighbor we've been using that for years and years because that's what the program is all about. It usually has a picture of, a child on it that, is struggling because they're cold. So look for that envelope. That's send in a check. Would appreciate that. But nowadays, most of us have these smartphones, so you can, to the number 91999, you just put in the word, you text the word warm, WARM, to 91999. That'll call up a link immediately that you can make an easy donation in 5 minutes. That's usually how I do it myself. So a page comes up with a credit or debit card, you make a donation.
Now, does that work with a computer? Because I don't have, on my cell phone, I don't have any capability of paying access or having access to my funds.
So great.
I want that cell phone not to be able to be used for financial transactions. I use it for communications.
I don't blame you, Dave. So perfect. If you've got a desktop computer or something, a laptop,
Right.
there's a page that you can just click to. It's called Rhode-IslandGoodNeighbor.org. Now that's one hell of a long word.
Yeah.
Rhode-IslandGoodNeighbor.org.
Spell out Rhode Island. It's not R.I.
That's right. That's exactly
But in
right.
2023, Google will fill in the blanks for you. If you
That's
get it a little wrong, it'll bring it
Do a
up on the
Google
screen.
search on it,
Right.
and you'll find it. And that is a great, it'll bring you to a page where there's a donate button right at the top.
Right.
So
Then you could use a credit card.
then
or
you can
something
use a
like
credit or debit card if you don't want to mail in the check. It's also a great resource. That same link is a great resource if you're looking, how do I get help? It's got both sides on it. If you want to make a donation or if you have a need, that's a page to go to, Rhode-IslandGoodNeighbor.org.
Okay.
How many people did you help last year? Did they give you a number on that?
Yeah, it was close to
I imagine
1,000.
they'll give you names.
Well, we don't have the individual names
That's
except for
exactly
businesses.
it. What's wrong? See,
Yep.
the similarities between Woonsocket's Milk Fund and the Good Neighbor Energy Fund
Yeah.
are striking, Joe. Eligibility, outreach, the fact that there's such respect and anonymity for those who are actually getting the benefits.
Yeah, that's right.
It always struck me.
So we get the numbers, and again, United Way, our partner in this endeavor, and they've been great to work with. They actually have everything broken down, again, not by name. That's a good point, Dave.
Right.
But they'll have the actual numbers and also the locations. Like if you send in those envelopes, as an example,
Right.
each one has a little number on it that says, all right, this one's from Woonsocket, this one's coming in from, this location, this
Yeah.
one's coming in from a national or Rhode Island Energy customer, this one's coming in from Pasco, my customers benefit too. So we know where the numbers are and the average, donation that either people are making or the average help that we're giving for different. We know what kind of fuels they're going to, which is also important. A lot of people in Rhode Island heat with oil or natural gas.
Sure.
And we see probably
$508 for the last, not even full fill-up.
600 for me.
You're 600.
Incredible, yeah.
How do you absorb that?
I don't know.
And folks like us, we can afford it. It hurts, but we can afford it. But you think of somebody that's struggling
Yeah.
to
If they're
put
hand
food
to
on
mouth.
the table.
Yeah.
It's awful. We really are sympathetic to that. And that's just one tankful, $600. Not even a tankful. It was
And you got to go through 4 or
140
5,
gallons.
maybe 6
During the season.
during
during the
a
season.
bad
right.
winter.
No
That's
matter
right.
how much you try to conserve.
And even on a day like this, you think about it, it's not all that cold out, but if you don't have heat in your house,
Yeah.
it gets really cold in there fast. It almost feels worse in the house than, outside the house. So,
And of course, things start going wrong inside the house.
Yeah.
You have problems
yeah.
with electrical appliances. You have problems with plumbing. You have problems, of course, sleeping and everything else like that. And if you're in that kind of desperate situation, are you able to keep up the electric bill? Do you have electricity? And of course, for those people who are heating with oil, every one of them that I'm aware of, you got to have electric and oil.
yeah, to
You
run
can't just have oil.
to run the burner boiler.
That's
you have
right,
to have
because
electric.
otherwise the circulating pumps don't work, and the oil doesn't get sparked to burn, and things. So you've got to have electricity. Very, very difficult. When things get very cold out there, and they will.
They will. Yeah, I mean we're sort of lucky that it's in January and it's been fairly decent, but that'll turn in a heartbeat.
That's
And
right.
It'll get cold out there, and with the
In
prices
the next
the way
3 or
they
4
are.
weeks, usually.
Yeah, that's right.
The-
The,
the
coldest part of the
stati-
winter is
The
late
statistically,
January.
yep, that's right. Last week of January is the statistically coldest part here in this area.
Yeah, that's right.
So, just another question, and because people always like to know this kind of thing. You're a 501c3 tax exempt organization, so it's your donation is tax deductible.
Great point, Joe. The donation is tax deductible. Now, what we find is that the majority of the people, we think, don't care about that.
Right.
They're in it because they want to help a neighbor. It could be somebody right down the street. It could be, somebody right next door. But that is a benefit. When you make a donation, you actually get either a letter back or an email back that lists the donation, so you can put it in your tax folder and claim it as a deduction in the next year. And you've got a right to do that, and you should do that.
All right. Is there a minimum amount that people can donate?
We'll take $1, Joe. We'll take 5. We'll take 100. We'll take 1,000.
Yep.
All right, that's good to know. Once again, go over how people can donate again, Mike.
Yeah, donate. Either look for the white envelopes this year with Warm Thy Neighbor on them.
You're going to try to go back to yellow next year?
We will.
Okay.
Because it stands
Or
out.
if you hold
better.
on to
Right.
these long enough, the natural process will yellow them.
Yeah, that's right.
There
That's
you
right.
go.
They'll fade.
You're an optimist, Dave. So that's one way. Yeah, look for those envelopes. You can write a check and get it in, or you can to the number 91999 on your smartphone. Text the word WARM, WARM. That'll bring up a page right away that you can make an easy donation with a debit or credit card. And as Dave pointed out before, for those of us that like to use desktops or laptops, go to RhodeIslandGoodNeighbor.org, that webpage. And again, you can either make a donation or find the information if you need help. That's a great resource for either side of that equation.
All right, very good.
Right.
We're going to take a break here in the Coffee and program. More is coming up. Rich Elena has joined us from Post 85. We'll
Hi,
find out
Rich.
what's going on with the Post coming up.
Rich, have you met Mike Kirkwood here?
I just did. Mike Richard Lane, good to meet you.
Yeah, good to meet you too.
All right, more Coffee and coming up. Stay tuned.
Chan's is open daily at 3 p.m. for drive-in, drive-through, and delivery. Get your Mai Tais and Scorpion Bowls to go at Chan's. Enjoy Chan's takeout specials. With a takeout order of $45 or more, Chan's will throw in your choice of an egg roll, spring roll, crab rangoon, or scallion pancake. Come into the lounge Friday and Saturday nights for the WRIK karaoke party at Chan's, 267 Main Street in Woonsocket.
If you have a police officer as a friend or a family member, National Law Enforcement Appreciation Day on Monday, January 9th is the perfect time to show officers we understand how difficult their job is. So it's important to show officers how much we understand their difficult work and appreciate their sacrifice and risk. So we see an officer on January 9th, thank them for their service. This National Law Enforcement Appreciation Day message brought to you by Baraducci Funeral Home and Cremation Care Center, 185 Spring Street, Woonsocket. Visit ProvidenceCremation.com. This weather forecast is being brought to you by Ozzy.com.
A rain and snow mix this morning, then just rain at midday, changing to all snow after 3 p.m. Areas of fog, high of 37 today with a calm wind. New snow accumulation of less than an inch is now predicted. Tonight, little or no snow is predicted, but there is a chance of it falling before 7 p.m., and then snow showers for the rest of the evening. Otherwise cloudy with an overnight low of 31. Saturday's weather partly sunny with a high of 42. Sunday sunny and 37. Monday sunny and 43. Tuesday sunny and 45. Next Wednesday mostly sunny and 36. And on Thursday mostly sunny and 32.
Currently outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio on the corner of Park Ave and Kennedy Street, we've got cloudy skies, we've got light rain, and we have 36 degrees. Get smarter every day at Ozzy.com. Try a new site that tells you about the most interesting people, places, and ideas. Try OZY.com now. Ozzy, it's a latte for your mind.
For an Allstate agent, providing protection options that fit your life is something they take, well, personally. Allstate agents are committed to learning about your needs and helping customize protection to meet them. From bundling your home and auto insurance with ease to evaluating optional coverage, your Allstate agent can help build an insurance proposal that fits your life. And just as important as learning what you need is learning what you don't. Because helping you get coverage you want with savings you deserve is what Allstate is all about. It's time to get coverage that's catered to you. Are you in good hands? Call Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. One agency, 2 locations in North Smithfield and Bellingham. One telephone number, 765-5000. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Allstate Property and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Hi, this is Gary Smith. Join me for Do You Remember, Tuesday through Friday mornings at 9:30 here on ON Radio.
Thanks, Gary. This portion of the Coffee and program is sponsored by the Valley Breeze newspaper.
Since its founding in 1996, the Valley Breeze has been the trusted source for local news in the Blackstone Valley. Our readers and advertisers understand that shining a light on all aspects of our communities and doing it with some of the best local journalism anywhere makes these cities and towns better places to live in. We believe that truth has value and should triumph over rumors and misinformation. See valleybreeze.com or any of our 5 editions for more on how you can be part of this local news success story.
All right, it's Coffee In here on ON, AM, and FM. Thanks for joining us. This is Joe Callahan here with Dave Richards, Mike Kirkwood, and Rich Elaine from Post 85. How are things at the Post there, Rich?
Nice.
Nice.
As
Oh, okay,
always,
great.
yeah,
Okay,
we're doing well.
It's
We're
standing
doing
up
well.
straight and firm,
Yep,
yes?
Yep. We had a nice New Year's party there, and nobody went home too
Nobody went
intoxicated.
home?
Nobody got pulled over. and
Nobody went home?
No, they went home.
I thought that was the report.
they
Nobody
went-
went home.
They went home in halfway decent shape, and nobody
Good.
got pulled over, and so everybody
that's
went home safely. We made sure of that.
Of course.
And so we had a good time. But right now we just had a couple of meetings, and one of our entities is Sons of the American Legion. We just got our charter. Well, I'm a regular member, but I also belong to the Sons, and they just got chartered maybe about a year or so ago. So we've been trying for the Sons of the American Legion to find our niche, something that we wanted to do, because the auxiliary and the Friends of Fairmont and the Post itself, we got all our
They're
little
in the kitchen.
Well, yeah, we got our little things we do, you know, but the Sons, we just haven't found the niche that we wanted to do for the community or for veterans yet. So we had a meeting the other night, and it was decided that we are going to start a non-perishable food donation program right at the Post that the Sons of the American Legion is going to do. It's going to be sponsored by the Post. So what I'm asking any of your listeners out there to do is, if you want to give a non-perishable item, and drop it off down at American Legion Post 85 at 870 River Street. We'll have baskets down there to take your non-perishable item. And we're not going to really earmark it to any particular place. I mean, we got New Beginnings in Woonsocket
yeah. Bless you.
that will be more than happy to take it. But we've also got a veterans shelters in Woonsocket off of North Main Street,
Right.
and we also got people in the neighborhood in some low-income housing around the Fairmont area that, since that parking shop closed up, they have a hard time getting out shopping anywhere, especially in the
A
wintertime.
lot of people from that section of the city used to go into Blackstone to the parking shop.
That's right.
That's right.
So, I mean, it's helping our neighborhood.
Yeah.
So, like I said, if you want to drop off a non-perishable item, feel free to come down and do that. We'll be more than happy to take it, and we'll get it to the right places. We're going to get it to the right places. It ain't like I'm going to go down there like once a week. My wife says I need 3 cans of green beans,
No,
But no, we ain't going to do anything like that. We're going to make sure it gets to the right people that really need it. And,
But green beans are tasty.
they're very good. But we had a lot of luck with the coat drive that we got done doing a couple of months ago down
that's
there.
right.
I mean, there were people that came in there literally with their kids wrapped in a blanket,
Yeah.
and they put a coat on the kid, and there was no more blanket around the kid. So
Oh, that's
when
good.
they left, and we saw people come in that needed a coat, and they said they were going to tell a friend, and 5 minutes later, one of the friends came in,
Yeah.
and nobody felt like embarrassed to do it. I just want to put the word out there to anybody that needs something. That's what we're there for, right? And we're going to welcome you with open arms, and you're going to walk in with a smile and walk out with a smile.
Cool.
And I guess that's the simplest way I can put it. So, but as far as anything else going down there, it's like I said last week. If you're looking to either rent the pavilion or rent the hall down there, we do it at a very reasonable rate. But if you're saying, gee, the place looks pretty good down there now, we're thinking of renting it for graduation coming up in June or anything like that, you better call and come down and take a look at the place, because the dates are really, really filling up fast for 2023. I mean, I looked at the calendar again, and there's even less than there was last week. So you give a call down if you're interested in renting it. And, like I say, the prices are extremely reasonable for the pavilion and the inside. So come on down and take a look.
Plus, I bet you can't wait for the weather to break, because on the nights that you're not rented out, you want to bring in some bands or some entertainment or something like that and get everybody together.
And we have all the date. Well, we are just waiting for our adjutant to finalize the list and put out the dates. But I can tell you, there's a lot of Friday and Saturday nights that we are going to have some great music down there in 2023. I know there's a band called The Night of Zeppelin or something like that. So there's
We heard of them.
So they're going to be coming down, and I'm telling you, there's been a lot of, the word has gotten out, so we're getting a lot of good bands giving us a call and saying, hey, can we, and they're doing it at a reduced. Pardon?
They want to come play there.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we want them to come play. We want the good. Hey, we want the good bands down there, because good band means good following. Good following means good revenue at the watering hole, and everybody makes out.
That's good. That's good.
All right. Mike Kirkwood from the Good Rhode Island Good Neighbor
He's still
Energy
here,
Fund.
by the way,
He is still
folks,
here,
yes.
and we just want to
Being
mention
very polite.
you've partnered with United Way to disperse the funds. So if anyone needs to make a donation or they're looking for more information, how do they contact the United Way?
Yeah, just dial there. They've got an easy number to call, 211, and that will, if you have a need, they'll link you up with the local Community Action Program agency to get you qualified to get some funds for your heating. And if you want to make a donation, you can look for the little white envelopes in the mail that come with your utility bill or your oil bill. Warm thy neighbors, the tagline. Send in a check, or you can even easily make a contribution with your debit or credit card. With your if you have a smartphone and you want to use that, text the word "warm" to the number 91999. Or if you have a laptop or desktop, you want to make a contribution that way, look for Rhode-IslandGoodNeighbor.org, and there's a donate button right at the top of that.
As a family that wants that needs help using the Rhode Island Good Neighbor Energy Fund, and they qualify. Is this just like a one-shot deal, or do they get funds throughout the whole heating season?
Usually, they'll try to provide the money you need up to a maximum for a tank of oil. Let's say that, or a delivery.
It's
of
a
propane.
grant.
Yeah,
But can
it's-
hit the reset button so you can put some money away and be ready for the next one.
And then, depending on the circumstances, if say you only used half, you only needed half of the maximum amount, you come in again. They'll ask you some questions. You might be able to get us, a second payment because you didn't use the maximum, and it's pretty generous. Most of the fuel types are roughly $650. Up to that, but oil and propane, because of where they're going this year, you can actually get up to $825, for those particular fuel types. But we'll help you with if you use wood or coal, doesn't matter, electricity, propane, oil, natural gas, we'll try and get you the help that you need to get you some fuel in your tank or heat in your house.
All right, that's the Rhode Island Good Neighbor Energy Fund. You'll see the envelopes in your electric bill, or your gas bill, or your oil bill, and so you can help out that way, or text 91999 to the word warm to that number, or go to Rhode-IslandGoodNeighbor.org. Remember, spell out Rhode Island, don't put R-I.
That's right.
And you can donate that way. And if you need help, just give a call to the United Way, 211, and they can help you out that way. That's fantastic. The Good Neighbor Energy Fund has been around since what, you said 1987?
1986.
86.
Yeah, 37 years.
All right.
Incredible. And Joe and Dave, you have me or whoever is representing Good Neighbor Energy Fund every year. We can't tell you how much we appreciate that, because you help us get the word out. And in this community here, there's a lot of people that that have a need. So go to your community action program agency here if you need help. Dial 211 if you need to find out their contact information. But we'd like to help you out.
All right. Very good. That's right. All right.
Mike Kirkwood, the wagon train is heading west now, so you'll no doubt bring our fond wishes to the folks back in Pasco.
I will do that. You folks are good neighbors, and Dave, I know you come from,
You're out
that
there.
neck of the woods.
Right.
So,
Oh, yeah, absolutely. As a matter of fact, your offices used to be on South Main Street.
That's right.
At the bottom of the hill that I rolled down on my bike. Yeah.
memories.
It's a private residence now.
Is
They
it?
They have more substantial digs than where the old train depot was.
That's
They took
exactly
over that
right. In
area.
fact, and just a quick interesting thing, they were doing a repaving and a reclamation of all that 107, Pasco Main Street.
Of course, yeah.
And when they were right in front of our office, when they were digging it up, there were old railroad tracks.
Of course they
from
were,
100 years ago in the street there.
When I grew up, the coal bins were across the street where Bradford Court is now.
And there used to be a little power plant back there somewhere too.
That's right.
Yeah, way back.
Yeah.
Good history, yeah.
Oh, it's fun. It's a great little community. And if you've driven down Pasco Main Street lately, they kind of improved.
Then what were you
Harrisville.
doing there? Is what I No, but what were you saying if you've driven down
It looks
Pasco Main
great now.
Street?
Yeah.
Well,
There's
yeah.
been a huge
Seriously.
uptick in redevelopment over there. The town did a magnificent
I mean,
job.
for guys
getting
like
that
me,
ready.
I go down Main Street
Yeah.
because, believe it or not, there's still one thing from Pasco that we still go back for every now and again, and that's the roast beef grinder
Oh,
at
yeah,
George's.
George's.
And if time is not of the essence, Denise will call it in, and I'll drive to Pasco, get it, and bring it back, because it was just very special. It
Those
brings
are the
back
best.
a lot of
I've had it,
memories.
yeah.
Oh, it brings back a lot of memories from when we were all living in Pasco for so many years. But when I drive down Main Street in Pasco, I say, okay, used to be a jewelry store here. Yeah. Okay, I remember going to a telephone booth over here when the mill was burning down and calling in my fire reports. There's no telephone booth there anymore, and everything's been all redone. In fact, I go back to the times when there were gas pumps in front of Chum's Electro Shop.
Yeah, and Chums is still there, by the way.
Yeah, that's right. The family still run it. I remember when the kids first took it over in the 80s. We didn't know if that was going to happen. They did, and they keep it running. They just have gas tanks in the upstairs of Chums and gravity feed to the pumps, and you just drive up on the sidewalk and you could get your gasoline there.
I did not know that. I'm going to bring that back to the
Look
folks
at the old
Pasco
picture
Utility.
postcards. There's actually in some old picture postcards.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take another break here in the Coffee Ann program. Please stick around. This portion of Coffee Ann has been sponsored by the Valley Breeze newspaper.
Since its founding in 1996, the Valley Breeze has been the trusted source for local news in the Blackstone Valley. Our readers and advertisers understand that shining a light on all aspects of our communities and doing it with some of the best local journalism anywhere makes these cities and towns better places to live in. We believe that truth has value and should triumph over rumors and misinformation. See valleybreeze.com or any of our 5 editions for more on how you can be part of this local news success story.
Ed Carew here of the Carew Investment Group, 68 Cumberland Street in Woonsocket. Our telephone number is 765-8880. At the Carew Investment Group, we offer personal management of investment accounts, and depending on what you're looking for, we can create a portfolio that provides you with current income, invest for growth for the future, and of course, our primary focus, which is managing retirement money from client rollovers of their 401k plan after they leave the workforce. Whatever your goals are, we can put together a program to assist you. And remember, I've been in the business of investing for clients for over 30 years, helping people just like you with their investments. So call me at 765-8880. Securities offered through Bolton Global Capital, member FINRA and SIPC, and advisory services offered through Bolton Global Asset Management, a registered investment advisor.
The best little auction in Massachusetts is Trudell's Auction Gallery in Bellingham. Auctions are presented every other Monday starting at 10 a.m. Please check out their website, trudellsauction.com, to see when the next auction takes place. You can stop by Trudell's Auction Gallery on the weekends before the auction to preview all the items being offered. You will see antiques and all sorts of personal property items from various estates. Trudell's Auction Gallery, 799 South Main Street, Bellingham. And it's Coffee Ann here on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan here, along with Rich Lane. Dave Richards is here as well. Mike Kirkwood from the Rhode Island Good Neighbor Energy Fund had to get going. So Rich, I'm going to get you and together with some of your Marine buddies, and you need to go down to Washington, D.C. and slap some heads around.
I'm going to
this whole thing with the voting is just it's ridiculous.
You know, I'm trying to be very
diplomatic,
middle of the road on
okay.
it. You know, I'm trying to see both sides of it.
Me too, but it's tough. And,
no, it is, because I mean, you hear the argument on one side that, you know, these 20 or so folks are just being obstinate, and they don't want to go with the rest of the crowd. But then you hear some of those 20 people saying, well, we're sick of the old school way of doing things, you know. So
they actually got a good point.
They make a good point, but then again, you sit back and you say, all right, the country's got to run.
Yeah.
You know, and then they throw the thing out of that it's affecting national security now because they can't do the business of the country. And so, I mean, I don't know. To me, there's 434 idiots sitting in a chamber now. And believe me, I don't feel bad for them when they say they're tired and they want to go home.
Yeah, that's right.
You want to know what? Because there's guys that are out in the middle of, you know, out in the middle of nowhere now, serving our country, that if it's a little quiet, they can't just pack up and go home either. They're there to get the job done. And so that's kind of like my message to any of them out there. I don't want to see you go home. You should have to take a pillow and a blanket and sit in your chair and do whatever you have to do, but they should keep them guys. They should serve them all pizzas, and they should keep them in that chamber until they get this stuff straightened out and start to run your country. You know?
Okay. Well, what always bugs me,
They will.
because of
This is all just drama.
Oh, I know it's drama, but it's sickening. You're putting it on TV in front of the American people, and the average American.
You're putting it on TV in front of the Italians, the British, the French, the
and
Germans,
it's embarrassing.
and the Chinese who are sitting back there just smiling.
giggling.
Well, you got average voters that just. You've got people that are really into it and study a lot, and I know you do, Dave, with the political stuff.
I'm
you
aware
study
of
it, but there's people
It's
that
not
don't.
enjoyment for me, but I'm aware of it.
Well, no, but in your business, you have to do that.
Yes,
you know,
that's right.
and there are just some people that sit back and are just watching it and go vote patriotically, you
Right.
know, and don't understand all the nuances that are going on, and those are the majority, and those people are watching it going, "What a bunch of dopes!"
Yeah.
You know.
So from where I live, when it's always election season, I get the ads from Rhode Island, Mass, and New Hampshire. So
That's
it's,
right.
so
Yep.
I see them all three. I'm running for Congress or I'm running for Senate. And besides saying my opponent's a dope and don't vote for them, they also say, but vote for me because I know how to reach across the aisle and I know how to get along with the people from the other party. And they all say this. And then when they actually get down there, they just stay with the party line, and there's no reaching across the aisle. They don't do any of that.
No, and and the thing I'm watching yesterday, now we got this whole thing with Maura Healey just went into office as the governor in
Mass, yep.
Massachusetts. And, congratulations. I may not see her same political views, but congratulations to her. She, but they make this big thing, and I'll just preface this by saying, I don't care who you are or what sexual orientation. I don't care. Just be nice to people. That's all, But they want to make this big deal out of her being the first woman or the first LGBT.
Well, those are the ones who want to divide America.
God, just let the woman do her job.
Yeah.
And do it decently. That's all. And I may disagree with her politically on a lot of things, but don't make a big deal out of all this stuff. Let's just get back to doing our job, going home at night and trying to make people happy. And I know I got some of my friends listening to me out there saying, is that coming out of Richie's mouth? But yeah, it is.
Well, it is because what I think people have to see beyond the words or beyond whatever the buzzwords were in what you were saying is simply that see the similarities in other people and give them a chance to be nice to you. If they're not, you've got work to do and they've got work to do. But see the similarities first. Don't worry about the differences.
That's right.
Because if all you want to do is look at differences, you're going to divide America and divide neighborhoods and divide states and divide people into little boxes of we've just alluded to that, Rich, about what's going on in our own city government here. And the division has been going on for years. And now it's, I'm with this one and I'm against. Well, if you're with me, you got to be against them. And all of it, me, I just try to be Switzerland and get along with everybody because I feel that's the best way to do it. If you could get both sides in the arguments there to do the same, it seems to me that things would go a little further. But the whole point is see the similarities, don't see the differences in people.
Well, let's hope that today, I don't know, I saw reports last night that they think up on Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C., they think.
Well, they say there's a glimmer of hope. A deal might be struck.
Yep. But there's one representative there, a gentleman from Florida, Getz, the state, the rep Getz, G-O-E-T-Z.
Yeah, I don't pay too much
whatever,
attention to him. Yeah.
But he, he's already presented 3 other names. I mean, make your mind up, will you?
Well, see, this one
Well,
works.
it's not that. If this one doesn't work, try another. If that one doesn't, it's the old Roomba robot trick, right? If you can't go forward, go back. If you can't go back, go to the side. Yeah, right.
He stood up and said Donald J. Trump and then sat right back down like you heard the whole room go.
It's not going so well for Mr. Trump these days.
No,
And it's a shame because he has things to offer. He just has a way of dividing the House.
I'll say what I just wish that I wish he'd just do his job sometimes and he would have just kept his mouth shut. Sometimes
there you go.
That's pretty much it. He's kind of
sounds like we're saying the same thing.
I haven't got a polished way of putting things. I guess I never have, but that's okay.
You don't have to.
No, but if that's pretty much what he should have done. If he would have just, left things alone and just kept his thought process to himself and just did the work that he was supposed to do.
Not his personality.
Yeah, his personality is unbelievable. Egotistical. I think is the word that you look for.
All right, up in Boston, the NTSB, National Transportation Safety Board, they have ruled that a 2021 crash on the Green Line in Boston that hurt 27 people, it was preventable. Now, the investigation finds that if the T had installed a positive train control system that was recommended 14 years earlier, then the crash that happened in 2021 would have been preventable, or could have been prevented.
Because the operator lost consciousness and...
Yes, and when the trains get too close to each other, they automatically slow down.
There was no what they call a dead man switch so that if his hand relaxed, it would stop the train.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, the driver's saying he blacked out. That's what he's saying. But now the
But
safety
then it takes
system.
off, it's still going without his input.
Well, right. And he came up on another train, and they didn't automatically slow down. Now, the safety system that they want to put in won't be installed fully on the Green Line until 2025.
Let's not do anything rash here.
Makes you want to take the train,
It's only
doesn't
been
it?
14 years so far.
Yeah, so we don't want to rush these things.
We can wait for 20 years.
Well, hopefully nobody blacks out in the next 2.5 years, right?
That's one of the things Maura Healey did say yesterday during her inauguration. She wants to put someone, like an independent person, to oversee the safety of the T.
Now, how do you do that?
I don't
'Cause
know.
if you're appointed by the governor, people will just say it's all politics anyway.
Yeah, so she's trying to make things better. Can't make anything worse.
Well,
with
it
the T.
sounds good.
It does sound good,
And when you're being inaugurated, you want to sound good.
but
Absolutely,
But
absolutely.
all it means is more money from the taxpayers, because this is, I don't know, this is going to be an $80,000 a year job.
Oh,
for
no,
whoever this
no,
person
no. Six
is.
figures, Joe.
You
Six
think?
figures. Oh, gotta be.
$150,000 for this person to run this job. So
And then they all going to get together and they're going to give each other. God, I wish it would
Raises.
just stop.
all right. Also up in Boston, things you can't do. A Mattapan woman tried to walk into a Suffolk Superior Courthouse, had a handgun, loaded handgun, in her purse.
Sure.
And of course, if you go to court, you're going through the metal detector. And guess what? They found it. So she was arrested after the gun was allegedly found in her purse. The gun was inside a clutch-style bag that was inside a larger shoulder bag. So she was one bag inside another bag. And of course, she used the old adage of, "I didn't know the gun was in there."
Of course, now they're going to do the investigation to find out if she had anybody in the
that could
courthouse that she
Well-
didn't like, or if she had gotten.
Well, look, she was going to a court for her boyfriend's arraignment on a firearm charge. So I don't know if she was there to support him or to be against him. So
Well, I
that
don't know.
that part they don't
When
tell
somebody
you.
says they don't know something was, I got caught in TSA one time
I know,
with
and it's
a little,
possible.
a little 2-inch pocket knife
And-
that the Boy Scouts gave me. It was
Right,
inscribed
but-
with my name. It was a souvenir. I didn't remember it was in my bag.
But Dave, did the TSA believe you?
no,
No, they don't, and neither are these people at the courthouse.
They didn't believe.
When you
me.
say, "Oh, I didn't know it was in there," there's no way they're going to believe you.
well,
So they
sure,
lock you
sir.
up, Dave? They lock you up at the,
no,
at the
they
airport?
didn't. But I lost the knife.
They tossed
yeah.
it. Yeah.
You know, they tossed it right out. Yeah, but I mean, I knew it was an honest mistake.
Well, right.
I knew I owned it. I thought it was in a different bag, but it was in the bag I was taking on this trip.
And it could be an honest mistake with this woman too, but they're just not going to believe her.
Well, that's
there's
true.
There's just no way.
That's true. But I mean, a loaded handgun, I could not have made a mistake like that with. A souvenir knife that I didn't really use, but it was a souvenir. Well, okay, I know that it was just an honest mistake. But a loaded handgun, boy, where I come from,
You know
own
where
a
that
weapon,
is.
you know where it is, you've got it secure, and it don't have no bullets in it
Yeah.
until you're on the range.
They still have, and I'm still seeing reports, like every once in a while, they're still catching it at the airports.
Yes.
People
During
going
Christmas
trying it
time.
through the back. Yeah,
during
They're,
Christmas
just,
time.
We just
they're
had
still
it-
trying to get guns on planes.
We had the story at the beginning of the
Logan.
week at Logan Airport. The guy had the gun inside a paper bag, inside a shoebox.
Yeah, I mean, just,
How do
come
you-
on.
you're
You
gonna
don't
get
know.
caught.
How stupid are you? You don't know you can't bring guns on planes now.
What kind of brain do you need to have to put a weapon, a firearm, in a paper bag?
Well, we would determine I want to go back to prison, and this is the
Yeah,
easiest
maybe.
way.
Yeah.
Here's an easy way to do it. So, all right.
So, I mean, I could see put it in a gun safe, carry the gun safe, take the keys for the gun safe, and give it to the pilot. I could see that as being responsible. It still would go. Alarms would go off, and,
Right,
and
yeah.
you'd never get a chance to do it. But that would at least be responsible. Put it in a paper bag.
in a shoebox.
Yeah, that works.
Put it in your
They
check.
ain't going to catch it.
Wherever you put
Oh
the,
yeah, they'll never take
wherever
a
you
look in the
put the
shoebox.
paper bag is wrong.
All right. And it,
Gee whiz.
and it automatically looks like you're trying to hide it. So
Exactly.
you're automatically guilty.
I mean, Rich, you must have been taught about weapons the same as me. You respect them.
Oh, God, yes, please.
You know how to use
Yeah.
them. Never raise a muzzle at anything you won't eat for supper tonight.
That's right.
All of that stuff, unless of course you're in the service. That's another matter. You have command orders.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm telling you, it blows my mind that anyone could be so careless with something so terribly important.
It's just the way of the world. And like I say, I'll sit back in my recliner sometimes and like I start watching the news and then I pretty much just watch the weather right now.
Yeah,
and then just shut it off and I go, that's it.
Good enough.
Yeah, my wife will look at me because I got one of those headset things here.
Oh, yeah?
Can you do me a favor? She'll go, I go, what? She says, put the headsets on if you're going to listen to this. Well, yeah. So,
hey, here's an idea. Because Denise will watch these things, and I start screaming at the doggone TV set.
Oh, they work nice, too.
She watches, just last night, Joe, she was watching the HGTV, this Love It or List It program.
Oh, the housing
Which
house
could
stuff?
be
Okay.
amusing and instructional.
Yeah.
Because they got a lady designer and a guy who's a real estate agent, and and they doing their thing, and it's a little battle between them to see whether they can get them in a new house or they can love their old house. Okay, premise is there. But everything, she's been watching this thing for years, and all the manufactured adversity, they come in. Right now, I have no degree in construction. I have no credentials for construction, but I can tell you what the load-bearing walls are in this building. Now, you have a professional designer walk in and doesn't know.
They should, yeah.
and the general contractors walking behind her says, I want to move this wall. I want to get rid of that. I want to change these windows to doors and blah, 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 blah. And the guy's just saying, yes, yes, ma'am, yes, bang, 3 bags full. And then later on, 20 minutes later in the episode, by the way, that was a load-bearing wall. It's going to cost you $5,000 for a beam.
Yeah.
You got to know this stuff.
So you take the plug, you plug it into the output of back of your TV, and the headsets sit on a nice stand, and they recharge, and then when you want to put them on, you just plug it into the back.
Wear the headsets.
Boom, there you go.
You're all set.
And you're good.
So watch the
solved
weather.
the problem for
There
me.
you go. I'm happy to do it. Happy New Year.
'Cause this stuff pushes my buttons, Joe.
Well, watch the weather, Rich, and then the sports to see if the Patriots are playing this weekend, and then you're all set.
Then you're all set. There you go.
And whether or not the Bruins won. There you go. All right, we've come to the end of the program. We thank you for listening as always. Dave Richards, thanks for coming in.
It's been a great time. Thanks to Mike Kirkwood for coming by from Pasco to help us out with the Good Neighbor Energy Fund.
And if you need information on the Rhode Island Good Neighbor Energy Fund, call the United Way at 211. All right, and Rich Lane, thanks for coming in.
Thank you. And non-perishable items, bring them on to 870 River Street, American Legion Post, and we'll get them out to the right people.
Back door or front door?
You can come into the back door, you can come into the front door, and then
But
if you
don't
got a
come
couple,
into the side door,
don't come
'cause
in the
that's a
side
fire
door.
escape.
Well, there's none.
There you go. That's nice and easy. All right, this is Joe Callahan. Have a great day, great weekend, everyone. And remember, do you remember coming your way with Gary Smith
How
and the
could
crew
we
at
forget?
9:30.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the news.